All right, this is Scott Augustine for CardRunners.com, and I'm going to be bringing you today some footage I recorded yesterday. So that would be May 20th. So I was playing a bunch of tables during the day, and I don't usually play during the day on Mondays. I usually take Monday off if I'm playing a lot of Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But I hadn't played a lot in the last month online. Uh, a couple reasons. One was going up to EPT Berlin for 2 weeks, so the internet there was pretty terrible with all the tournament people in, and I just didn't want to play online when there was so much live stuff going on. And then right after that, I went and took a vacation to Paris, where I got engaged to my girlfriend. So that was good too. Didn't exactly feel like firing up some rush poker right afterwards. So took about probably 25 days off, and then in the last week I've been playing quite a bit. I think I've played about 15,000 hands this week, which is probably a little above average. I'd say I probably do about 50,000 hands a month. So that would put me probably around 60, 65 hands, 1,000 hands a month if I kept that pace up. So I just decided to play during the day. Kind of felt like playing and decided, well, I'm going to probably be playing some overall a little bit of tougher competition at 510. So why not try to make a video out of it? So first hand, we're actually getting right in the action. I would have liked to kind of show previous to this hand, but it was basically a heads up hand where I think it was heads up. It was either heads up or this guy had folded when I min raised. I think that's probably more likely. It was probably tough shot folded or hasn't posted yet, and then I min raised and small blind folded, big blind called. I think that's what it was. Irregardless, King 5 would be in my opening range between those two. So it doesn't really matter. Heads up, I'd be opening at obviously wider, but whatever. So flop, I see bet, and I believe it was 30 into 45. So yeah, that makes sense. And I end up flopping top pair, which is good. Turn is close. I think you can definitely use this as one of your check back to bluff catch any river, but I don't think it's one of those boards where he's necessarily like, I think when a lot of his hands that are going to check call this board are going to feel an obligation to defend to a wide turn barreling range. And especially with this guy, I don't know too much about this guy named the Gecko. I know he's from Australia, and that I was playing him before this a bit heads up at 10-20, just on one table trying to get a game going. So I assume he's pretty good. And this is definitely a line I would take against someone who I think is capable of beating like a 10-20 game rather than someone who's probably taking a shot from 2-4 or whatever. So I bet, I think 70 or 80, which is definitely a pretty standard bet size for me. I feel like this was 70, but whatever. 80, that's cool too. And I'll look at the bottom right in a second. And we are going to get check raised here to, I believe, 260. A lot of these hands are fresh in my mind because I just played it the day before. So hopefully that'll help my analysis and not kind of like hinder it. But I haven't watched this footage since I played it, which was yesterday, so we'll see. And he thinks in check raises, he's not really representing a lot, but he also knows he's not representing a ton. It basically looked to me like he was kind of trying to feeling out what my skill level was. And so he was like, okay, against a lot of decent but not great 5-10 players, they're going to take a line of bet, check behind with a lot of exact type of hands my hand is. Maybe even like ace jack, they would do that as well. Probably no lower than that for value. So to prevent that, the Gecko either needs to fold more on the turn, so he's not just like calling again with 10-9, or turn a lot of the hands that he would take into a check call line. But because I'm going to be betting and then checking behind quite a bit of my weak kings and such, he's decided to take part of his range that would normally either check fold or a weak check call and turn it into a check raise, which I think is fine. I kind of assumed that's part of the value I'm getting from this bet. And it's also like, yeah, he's got queen 9. Probably King Jack is 3-betting me pre. King 10 may or may not. Jack 10 and basically Jack 10 and pocket sixes and Queen 9 is basically what he's representing here. Maybe some King Jacks if he chose to flat him.